So who should you be talking to about financial planning or financial advice? And who should you not be talking to? Well, that's exactly what we're going to address in this video right now. So planning your retirement can be like that looming cloud that's over you that can be kind of depressing, especially when you realize that time just gets shorter and shorter and your money's not growing as fast. And even if it is growing, you're starting to wonder, is it really enough? Now you might be wondering, who do I go to for financial advice? Should I be watching this stupid YouTube video or not? Should I be, listening to this person or that person? Well, I want to address here today about who you should actually be listening to, who gives you the best financial advice, even if it's for free, but it's more especially, what is that financial advice that's actually going to help you become more financially free, not just in retirement, but maybe even sooner than your retirement date. So hang in there. I'm going to talk about that at the very end of this video. All right, so let's just start off first and foremost. Who are the worst people to talk to about money? Pretty much it's people that haven't done it themselves, right? I'm talking about your family members, your friends. It could even be a financial advisor, right? It could be all these people, your coworkers, people like that. So many people love to give financial advice. I'll tell you my own experience. Even when I was a traditional financial advisor, as it says on my shirt, person paid to sell you crap, not necessarily make you more money. Yeah, when I was a traditional financial advisor, I had a brother-in-law who took one economics class in college his freshman year and thought he was like the most brilliant guy because not only did he take that economics class and get an A, but he also knows how to save money in a savings account. And that made him smart. This guy loved to give people financial advice and did it with such confidence that people actually listened to him. The thing is, he didn't know jack squat about money in the first place. And I'm not saying this guy went broke because he was just a good penny pinching saver, right? But he wasn't necessarily somebody to go to for financial advice. He didn't give you anything more than what you could have got from somebody else, right? But again, you got to be aware of those people that have a lot of confidence. That might even just started, they bought that little stock. Maybe they bought that Bitcoin and they think they're brilliant because they made a little bit of money there. Those are not the people to listen to that have just had this flash in the pan kind of success, right? Beware of those people because it can sound enticing, even if they've had a little bit of success. But the problem is will that money last for them? Have they proven it year after year after year after year after year, right? So be careful not to take advice from people that just made quick, easy money, but really don't know how to create long-term, lasting wealth. The question is, do you want quick, easy money, or do you want money that lasts for a lifetime and beyond? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Also, other people you should not be listening to are like human resource representatives, the people that say, I'm your benefits specialist, here's the 401k, right? And they try to tell you like, this is the best thing ever, and we'll even throw in free money for you. And he's like, well, that's brainless. Free money. That's a 100% rate of return on my money, 50% rate of return, whatever it is, which it's really not in reality, but I get it. It makes it sound enticing, but those people are just, again, not financial experts. These are people just paid to offer you one thing. It kind of ties in this next thing. There are financial professionals you could be listening to, right? And I'm not saying financial professionals are somebody you should not listen to. In fact, if you're looking to buy mutual funds, guess what? You should find somebody who's licensed to sell you mutual funds. That's what a financial advisor is, right? When they have those licenses, things like the Series 6, 63, 65, they're a CFP, like a Certified Financial Planner, or whatever it might be, or the CHFCLU and all that kind of crap. Like they always have those multiple letters behind their names or things like that. All those designations, just I had those designations back in the early 2000s, and I'll tell you, they're overrated, okay? All you have to do is pass some tests. Yeah, it can be a lot of work to cram and pass those tests, but if you're a good test taker, it's actually easy to become a licensed financial professional. But I'm here to tell you guys that even them, you have to take with a grain of salt because everybody, even myself included, obviously I have an opinion here, right? Financial professionals are no different. They're not holistically looking at everything. They're not unbiased. If they ever tell you they're unbiased, they're full of crap. Everyone has a bias. And you have to understand, is their bias legit? Is it actually something that really does make you more money? Or is it something that really just fills their pockets? Just so you're aware, most financial advisors make money one of two ways. Either one, they're commission-based, which means they only make money if they sell you into those programs. I will tell you from firsthand experience, having been that kind of financial advisor, is that the problem with that kind of planning is that the commission is what drives their bias in many, many cases, even if you want to do the right thing. And I get it, financial professionals do care about you for the vast majority of them. I would say this from my own experience, vast majority do care about you. I cared about my clients as well. I wanted them to be successful. That's also why I left being a financial planner when I realized my clients weren't becoming successful long-term doing the strategies I recommended. Now, it wasn't that they were always bad strategies, they just weren't the right strategies to get them there quickly, right? And so financial professionals, although they are a step up from talking to your friends and family and coworkers and HR reps and people like that, the truth is that, once again, they may or may not make you money. In fact, some make commissions off of you, and that they make commissions whether you make money or not. There are also others that charge a fee, whether they charge you a flat fee or they charge you a percentage of your assets. They call it assets under management, or AUM. That's very much the common term you'll hear financial advisors use. If you have $1 million with them and they make 1%, they're making $10,000 a year off of you, whether you make money or not. Now, if you lost money, 200,000 in the stock market, you're reeling from that, right? You're freaking out because you're like, I just lost 200 grand. But guess what? That financial advisor making 1% still makes $8,000 a year, even though you lost 20% of your portfolio and you're wondering if you'll even be able to retire in 10 years, right? That's the kind of thing that I don't like. So remember, take their advice with a grain of salt. Again, if you're going to buy mutual funds, that's what they do really well. Now, whether they pick the right ones for you or not, that's another story, right? But that is what they're hired to do. They are financial salespeople. That's why I quit being a financial advisor, is because I realized I was just a financial salesperson. So the question is, who do you trust, right? Who do you trust with your money? Now, like I mentioned, I was a financial advisor. I did that for 4 years back in the early to mid 2000s. Now, I remember in 2005, I sat down with my own father because he asked me, he said, Chris, when do you become my financial advisor? So I sat down with him and looked at his money for the first time, because the guy never wanted to share his money, right? He was a cheap son of a gun. Like, he's always like, hey, money doesn't grow on trees. We think I made of money, right? He never wanted you to see his money because he thought everybody's trying to take money from him. Well, he finally trusted me enough to have me sit down with him and look at his finances. He was 61 years old, getting ready to retire. Y2K had just kicked his butt in the stock market a little bit, so he was getting tired. He was burning out, already had heart attacks and strokes, working his tail off at his job. And then I sat down with him. I looked at him. He had paid off all of his debt, like good boys and little girls should, right? Stuffed money in his 401k, got the match, did that for decades. And then I had to say, Dad, here's the deal. If at 61 years old, if you wanted to retire today, you better hope that you die in 5 years, because that's when you'll run out of money. Now, this is the guy that saved everything. He did everything right. He was debt-free. Dave Ramsey would have been super proud of him because he did exactly what Dave Ramsey taught. However, it wasn't enough. Enough, at least from a financial advisor standpoint, right? And that's when I started to realize I had to find something different, because it wasn't just him. All the clients I had, even ones I inherited that had worked with financial advisors for decades prior, still, they weren't in a place where they could retire either. And you know what's even more shocking is when I started to look at financial advisors' life, and there was like over 100 guys in our office. But when I looked at their lives, even some that worked there since the late 1970s still could not retire themselves either. They couldn't even do it. So if financial advisors couldn't retire, what makes you think that anybody else could? And that's why I left. I ended up looking at a different route. I actually started looking more in the space of real estate investing and things like that. I realized that real estate investors, many of them, were in their 20s and 30s, multimillionaires, and able to retire. And I thought, well, if I'm looking for evidence, I want to go that route. And so I started to learn what they learned, and I started doing some fix and flips and things like that, even things that are like wholesaling and whatnot. And the next thing you know, later that next year, I was able to retire myself when I was 28, almost 29 years old. And I'll tell you guys, it blew my mind. Now, granted, the recession kicked my butt. You know, if you ever watch my other videos, you'll hear some of that story sometimes about how I went from millionaire to upside down millionaire. But still, even without filing for bankruptcy, having to dig out of that debt hole, still by 2016, I was able to retire the second time, having enough passive income to pay my actual family's bills. That, guys, that's financial freedom. So I was able to do it twice by the time I was 39 years old, even despite having that debt hole I had to dig out of. And so this is the big advice I would give you. Who do you listen to for financial advice? Who do you go to for that? I like to go for the people that have been there, done that, and still doing it today. What do I mean? I don't want just people that was a has-been. I don't want somebody who's like actually been there, done that. Like if my story was just, I did it back in 2006, but really I've been broke ever since, don't listen to me, right? This is why I say don't listen to people that had short-term wins, people that just threw their money in Bitcoin and made, hundreds of thousands of dollars maybe, right? Maybe they made millions of dollars, but they don't know how to do it again. Don't listen to those people. It's flash in the pan. For me, I realized the best thing I could have done even after making mistakes, repeat it to do it again a second time. Then I can prove it works. And by the way, it's even cooler that I have a lot of clients that have done it themselves, applying the same methods. That's why you want to go for not just those that have been there and done that, those are still doing it today. People are still successful today doing it. And you want to pick people that help guide you along, that actually are also in a place where you want to be in the future as well, right? You want to be in that place. You don't want to be someone who's just simply, going after this person that says, hey, I have this wonderful life and I became a dentist or a doctor and you should do that too. And then you realize you hate your job, right? Same thing with money. If you're like, hey, I want to go do the stock trading thing, which I used to teach people how to trade stocks and options. I want to go be a stock trader. Yeah, but what if you actually hate it? You don't want to do that. And so you want to pick those people that have the kind of life and do the kind of things that you want to do as well. Find the best and then follow them. That's always my best advice. I don't care if you're trying to get a business mentor, a fitness mentor, right? If you're trying to get somebody to get you into shape or whatever it is, you got to have somebody that walks the walk and can talk the talk, right? That's what you need. You definitely need those people that have walked the path, still walking the path today, so they help guide you along as well. Now, obviously, you can do the same thing for yourself. I recommend if you want to go deeper down this rabbit hole, besides subscribing and liking this video, go check out moneyripples.com. We got lots of additional information to show you how you can actually become financially free, not when you're in 60s and 70s, but actually doing it right now. So go visit moneyripples.com today.